Welcome to Wonderland Sweden. My name's Rebecca and I create educational tools with the help of my XTool P2 and Creative Space. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's begin. We said it's important with knowing the different colours for telling the laser what to do. So we said that red in Laser World is cut. But as you can see, you still need to tell it to cut. Even though you've changed the colour, it's not like it automatically knows what red is going to do. It doesn't do that in this software. It might do it in another software, but in this software, it doesn't. So we still have to tell it what to do. So there's different ways to do it. There's, I think, 3 different ways now. So we could click down here. So everything that is on the red layer, if you press on that, then it will highlight it. And as you can see, we have score, which is basically a line, engrave, which is basically a filled in area, and a cut. So we change it to cut. So as you can see, the power is 1 and the speed is 16. That is not a recommended setting. It says, you can see here, it says user defined. So it says I've made those settings up. And it's saying I've made those settings up because I've not told anything otherwise at the moment. The XTool has their own settings for all the different materials that you can find here. So if you just click on unknown material. So this is the most important thing, is to remember to choose your material and to choose your settings and not choose this afterwards. Because there's a lot of people that do that they do a test grid, and the test grid is great. Maybe we can show that as an example. So if we do a test grid, so a material test array it's called here. Oh, I've never done one before, obviously. Oh, I thought it was selected. So here you go. So the item that I just drew has now become a test, and it is between minimum power 10%, maximum power 100%, 5 columns, 5 rows, 3 millimeters this way, 3 millimeters that way, and the speed is between 10 and 250. So you could, if you think that you know somewhat around, like you wouldn't really go 100% for score really, so you could actually change the settings so then it would be a little bit more accurate. So you could say, oh okay, well I'm thinking max 60, so you just change that to 60 and it'll work it out for you. Let's see if it'll do it without me changing it. Yeah, it did. So max speed, so minimum speed 10, that's very, very slow. Maybe do 100. You just press OK. So this is for a score. An engrave. That's fun. Again, I've never tried that before, but yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. So it splits it all up. So if you click on here on the right hand side, it'll tell you, okay, that one is 60, 213. So to get back onto that, you can just click back onto the canvas, click on there, click on the canvas, so you get this back. And if you want to change it, then you can click on all of it. Okay, so there's different settings here. As you can see, I might want to have these as score, and these ones, as you can see, they're actually letters, and most of the time letters you do engrave. But as you can see, if I just click on one little square, it doesn't actually click on it. clicks on all of it, so that means that they're all grouped. So we have to do ungroup. So if we wanted to do that, we would press shift and that if you wanted to change those to engrave. For me personally, engrave, I choose a different colour just so it makes it look different, so I know. And here on the right side again, it says all the settings. This one is having a warning sign saying you need to change the settings. So now we've done the test grid and everything's great and we've got all these different settings, and this is basically what I wanted to come to, was that people went then go, oh no, I've forgotten to choose my material. So classic is just plywood, pine plywood, so we confirm. So look at these on the right hand side, look at them, and as you can see, everything went back to the reference. So all of these settings that we set have all messed up, and there's not much we can do about that. Control and Z, you could go back and undo it. So what you need to do is basically choose your material. If you have to choose your material, choose it before you tell them what the settings are. You can just ignore that unknown material and just put the thickness in. So if we know it's 3 millimeters, so we just put 3 instead. So basically that's what I wanted to show, that you don't change what the material is after you've changed the settings, because you just have to redo it all. So these ones, go back to these are a cut file now, but 1 by 16 isn't going to do much. So as I was saying, there's 3 different ways to highlight them. So you can highlight them with this down here, that will highlight them all, or you can highlight them by dragging them all. I did that with my finger on the screen. Or you can do Control and A, will highlight them all, or you can press on them individually. Press Shift. Takes a little bit longer, but can be more precise if you've got some in some specific areas. Or the third way is click on here. So as you saw, they were all grouped together, and you can see them. It's really clearly that they turn blue, so it's going to highlight those 4. So they're the 3 different types of ways to choose them. So it's cut, great, but we want to put in the material. So we want pine plywood, and we know it's 3 millimeters. So there you go. So the suggested settings for this is 100, 25, 100 power, 25 speed, and 1 pass. Which basically means that it will go round once. It might start in different places. The laser works out which is the shortest and quickest path. So sometimes it might start here and sometimes it might start here. It always starts in the corner, obviously, for a square shape. So there's many that say you shouldn't have power 100. It depends what you read. So there's some suggestions that you should do max 80 power. So if you go down with the power, then you have to go down with the speed. So my go-to settings for pine plywood are 80, 15, and no higher than that in the power. Yeah. So there you have it. So don't forget, choose your material before you do any changes to your settings, because as you can see that they just go back to the same. And the same with these. If we have these and we say, okay, we've said 80, 15 for all of them, and then we decide, oh no, we want to do, say, purple. and the settings will change. So you've got to keep that in mind. So before you ever press process, check the settings, check the thickness, and you're on for a winner.